Hello, my name is Torre, and I am the organizing director with the Wisconsin Fair Maps Coalition. It's my honor and it's my pleasure to represent over 40 coalition partners that are trying to find a solution to ban gerrymandering in Wisconsin once and for all. Like many civic engagement organizations that are in partnership with us, including some representatives here from the Milwaukee Turners, Black leaders organizing communities, and Comidas Sin Fronteras. We know that, like researchers and doctors in hospitals looking for cures for diseases, gerrymandering is the disease that affects our civic engagement spaces. It's 230 years old. This colonizing nation is only 250 years old. So what we're saying is that since its inception and at its core, the system is broken. The Fair Maps Coalition is celebrating a year since we've announced our Independent Redistricting Commission draft proposal, and we took it on tour. We went to 50 different cities across Wisconsin, and we collected and gathered public input and testimony like clockwork every Monday for 2.5 hours. After each presentation, we would go through the questions that people asked. We would answer the questions. We would edit the draft proposal so we could have a model that worked for Wisconsin. We basically looked at other states across our nation that had some sort of redistricting reform, including an independent redistricting commission, a nonpartisan commission, or what we call it, but we were looking for an answer. And what we realized was that Wisconsin doesn't have an answer, so we Frankensteined a model to create a model that worked for Wisconsin, an independent redistricting commission. That draft proposal is currently sitting at the Legislative Reference Bureau at the Capitol as we're speaking. They promised to have edits back soon. We turned it in December. It's June. So we are still waiting to hear back. We know that candidates turned in their pledges this week. We know they're busy, but we're busy too, and so is everybody here that took time out of their day to stand with us and to demand an end to gerrymandering and a solution that we already have the prescription for. It just needs to be taken upon by the legislature to support and enact both into law and into a constitutional amendment before the 2030 census. So with me here today, I shared some of our partners, including the Milwaukee Turners, the BLOC, and Comité, is Angela Davis, the Executive Director for Black Leaders Organizing Communities. And she's going to share a little bit about BLOC and the work that we need to do to get it done.
Good afternoon. My name is Angela Lang. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the co-executive director of BLOC, Black Leaders Organizing for Communities. Shout out. We're here today because we know that voting rights are under attack. Our votes are under attack, and we must do everything possible to protect our vote.
Right.
Our vote is our voice, and we will not let anyone silence us. Our democracy is fragile right now. We turn on the TV, we see a headline, we feel it. And that's why we're here today. Unfortunately, we've been here before. Not just in recent years, since 2016, but we've been fighting this fight for generations. We're here today because of the work of our ancestors and some of our own grandparents. We need to protect the legacy of the civil rights movement. While we may have been here before, and we may be exhausted to our core in our homes, we have won before, and we will win again.
Right.
Once upon a time, people like us couldn't vote, but it's through organizing and being committed to the struggle together that we overcame. And we will continue to overcome again. Organizing tactics, wisdom, knowledge, and solutions have been passed down to us. This has been a multi-generational fight, and we continue to defend our democracy for as long as it takes. It's a big election year. I think we all know that. We demand, we need, we encourage our elected officials to stand up and protect our vote and our voices, protect our democracy, and be the champion for protecting voter rights. We want an independent redistricting commission where we can actually have fair maps with rules and parameters not guided by partisan politics, truly in the hands of the people. We want an end to gerrymandering, including prison gerrymandering. We want federal legislation to ban partisan gerrymandering. We want to make sure that no matter what zip codes you're in, no matter how much money is in your pocket, you have a vote and you have a voice in our democracy. And when we come together, we can protect that right for future generations. Thank you.
Turn it over to Emilio, Executive Director of the Milwaukee Turners.
Thank you. It is great to see all of you here on this gorgeous day. My name is Emilio. I'm with the Milwaukee Turners, and we have been working for an equitable democracy since 1853. Interestingly, the Turner that designed Turner Hall up the road also designed this building where we are now. I deeply appreciate that you are here. At this very moment, there are many of us gathered in different places in the city. Some in this very building are advocating to an end to government surveillance and high-speed chases. Our friends on the north side are demanding food justice and an end to food apartheid. Other friends are gathered to push back on the extractive practices of AI data mega centers, and many other friends are gathered to work with the rights of immigrants. And we are gathered in 8 cities across the state right now demanding fair voting maps. We have innumerable things in common with our brothers and sisters. The one dangerous thing we share in common is that there are powerful and immoral people who do not want us to be here. They want to silence our voices. They want us to be good little subjects, do what they want, sit down, shut up, and take it on the chin while they pick our pockets and make every effort to diminish the power that we have. The results of the Supreme Court's Louisiana versus Calais is just one example of this. If voting weren't important, they wouldn't work so hard decade after decade to prevent us from voting. From origins in exclusively white identity male property owners, to the over-policing of our communities, that's what happened. To impossible literacy tests, to bloodshed hoses and dogs, to ever more restrictive barriers to what ID is acceptable and when. Rigging the maps is just another trick in their arsenal, an attempt to undo the progress that our collective ancestors have made and to once again exclude black and brown voters. We have a chance now to make it fair, to demand an independent redistricting commission that will balance the scales, an independent IRC composed of citizen commissioners who will move this decision from power-hungry politicians into the hands of the public. And having fair maps is a step toward ensuring that political parties don't play games with our taxes, our voices, and our voting rights. So while we have all of these candidates right up the road at the South Shore Park Pavilion and elsewhere tonight scrambling for your vote this election cycle, make sure you do your homework and ask them where they stand on redistricting. It's time now for us to roll up our sleeves, go work at your local polling place, help register voters, educate ourselves on the issues affecting us this election, and make sure we keep our democracy. If you don't do it, no one else will. Remember, if you're not at the table, it's because you're on the menu. So grill the candidates who want to represent you. Are they really going to represent you? Will they represent your family? Will they represent your bloc? Or are they going to do the bidding of some wealthy oligarch and prop up the status quo? We need to get rid of this 230-year-old con game once and for all. Voters should choose the politicians, not the other way around. So please join the Wisconsin Fair Maps Coalition. Join all of us in demanding that we stop rigging the game. There's too much at stake. We're Milwaukeeans. We're built for these fights, and we demand fair maps now. Stay undaunted.
And to close this off, we have Salgado, who is a labor organizer as well as a leader with Comité Sin Fronteras. After Stephanie, we are going to have a call to action from our volunteer and relational organizer, Nicole, who's celebrating her 1-year anniversary with us. We went from a staff of 1.5 to a staff of 2.5. So
naturalized U.S. citizen who just started voting 4 years ago. Many immigrants like me know what it feels like to live in a country whose people's vote has been stolen, disenfranchised, and silenced. And we revolt. I come from a revolutionary Latin America which taught me that knowledge is power. So instead of coming up here and shouting out things that you all probably already agree with me on, I want to teach a history lesson for your next organizing conversation with your family, your friend, your neighbor, and your coworker to join the union and cast your votes. We start conversations with a simple, did you hear what happened with the Voting Rights Act? And we hear our peers' frustration, anger, loss of hope. What if I told you someone named Philip Randolph, a labor leader and civil rights activist, warned us that political withdrawal is an invitation to our enemies to roll back every advancement of the last 25 years? Philip Randolph, as a socialist himself, knew that a decent, well-paying job is the first step towards a social and political freedom. So, what did he do? He organized his community to build power. After many no's, imprisonment, rejections, failures, he finally succeeded in organizing the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters and making the Pullman Company sign a contract in 1937. This was a true testament of improving people's lives at the most integral parts, their labor and their goods. He did not stop it. He was one of the many organizers for the March on Washington in 1963, with Martin Luther King captivating speech, I Have a Dream, paving the way to the Civil Rights Act in 1964. Now we owe it to the civil rights movement organizers to honor their sacrifice for the freedom to organize now. That's right. Then your conversation with your peers sometimes goes to, well, that was a long time ago. To all my brothers and sisters in the struggle, we have a lot to learn from Bolivia right now. A nation that under Evo Morales raised the minimum wage, eliminated illiteracy, and half extreme poverty. But then, U.S. intervention for lithium resources pushed Bolivia to the worst conditions under a far-right president, Rodrigo Paz, with a 14% inflation rate, making it one of the worst economic crises in 4 decades. This happened because of the Law 1720 that allows small agricultural holdings to be reclassified as gold collateral. Eliminating fuel subsidies, making transportation and food prices soar. Sounds familiar? Bolivia is a nation that, as a united front, defended its democracy and organized a general strike. Miners, farmers, teachers, students, and indigenous people came together and said no more. They have blocked 67 roads, carried out a strike for 2 weeks. So show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Today, I end my conversation with 2 friends by urging you to support the Wisconsin Fair Maps Coalition to demand an independent redistricting commission and ensure our right to vote and organize. Because every time we cast a vote, we know it does not end there. It just started all. We have to have organizing conversations with the people that we love for the democracy that we entrust. Thank you.
And then to close us off, we have Nicole Gabriel, who is our volunteer and relational organizer.
Hi everyone, just like you said, my name is Nicole and I am an organizer with the Fair Maps Coalition. And before we wrap up today, I just want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to the people who made today's rally possible and to those who continue to do the hard work that keeps the fight for fair maps moving forward. Thank you to everyone who has been volunteering their time, helping us organize rallies and events like this. Grassroots movements only succeed when people like you step up, get involved, and help carry that vision forward. And the simple truth is, we just cannot get this work done without you. I'd also like to thank our speakers for sharing your words of wisdom with us. Today, you all reminded us exactly why this fight matters. And if you're wondering what comes after this, we have stay involved. You can sign up for our newsletter at fairmapswi.com or scan this QR code later on to stay up to date on our coalition's progress and learn about upcoming Fairmaps events or volunteer opportunities. We're also looking for more groups to invite us in as guest speakers so we can continue to educate people on Wisconsin's gerrymandered maps mess and how an independent redistricting commission can solve that problem for you. At the end of the day, fair maps aren't about one party or one politician. They're about making sure voters choose their representatives, not the other way around. They're about creating a system where every voice matters and every community has a fair chance to be heard. So as you carry on, please remember, the history of democracy is a history of ordinary people refusing to accept that things have to stay the way they are. Every expansion of voting rights, every reform that made government more representative, it all happened because